Greetings everyone, this is Lodrik and this is the game War in the Pacific Admirals Edition. And today we check the game against THG. This will be then more or less the first combat turn under my control. It is still the first turn, so a lot of stuff I have to move around, and it's mostly a mess still. But let's see what happened. I hope I have at least 5-6 turns time to organize my stuff before I get too much pressure from THG. But we cannot count on this. We can only maybe hope, and this will maybe help. All in this New Caledonian area and around Raboul, I have to call back most of the units to the main ports like Luganville and Raboul, because a lot of stuff is broken up and not very well supplied. There's no fuel at all, so it's a very critical situation. And here we can see that one of our better submarines find I don't know, at least a tanker. I don't know if it's American or British tanker, but looks like a bigger one. And you can see that the tanker is full of fuel. Normally if you have this cargo is burning, then the tanker is loaded with oil or fuel, or the cargo ship. So 2 torpedoes, heavy fire, heavy damage, and so far out of any port is normally always dead. So it's a good start. I don't know how big is the tanker, maybe 17, 18, 19 like this. At least something. We can also see that here already some of THG's submarines are very close to the coastline of Japan. In my other game with Dojo, that is nearly impossible for Dojo, but in this case, yeah, we have to do something. This is a US submarine with shitty torpedoes, and we are lucky that I think we had a hit. I don't realize, but at least no explosion. So. But we have here deep water, and I don't think that these destroyers are already... Let me check. I don't think that we really can hit this so deep. Deep water is always shitty. One of our cargo ships have some flotation damage. Yeah, a lot of ships have some damage and normally must go back to repair. So it will not be easy. The biggest problem is normally not the losses of bases or ships or anything else. It is really a purely logistic nightmare. If half your bases have no supplies, the other have no fuel, and the ships are on the wrong station, then you will have trouble in this kind of game. Because this game is not a war game itself, it's really a logistic war game. So half your time you normally only think about logistic. And if you don't do this, you will get trouble. And I have now the trouble and have to fix the logistic. Before I don't fix the logistic, I cannot think about any military actions. We also can see that THG have here some air force out of Xi'an, because the Japanese army was before not able to take Xi'an, and Xi'an is a very critical position. If the Japanese can control Xi'an, it's normally threatens the whole Mongolian area, because you can cut here in the north the line of supply. And if you control Xi'an, you normally can also bombard this valley of Sichuan. In this case, it's the opposite now. THG still controls Xi'an, and he built out Xi'an, and he have, I think, a lot of air force here, so he can normally bombard all all armies coming or going out of this area with his air force. And this is of course a no-go, but for some reason there's nearly no Japanese air force in all of China. No fighter force at all. So I don't know, I have first to organize that I get some fighters to China to battle with this British, American, Chinese air force. So you can see, I mean, they are not really strong. This is Hudson's 1. This is all twin engine medium light bombers. They don't carry a lot, but only that they can do it is already a pain in the ass for me. And this is this Russian twin engine bombers. So this is in China. In China it is not a logistic. In China I have to organize the armies, I have to organize the airports, I have to organize any air force. So like I said, I think in 1 week I think I am ready to do something, but so far I hope I can hold the line and organize the stuff. I not even try here to do something. I have here a little air force, but it's far too less. And my game style is more or less, if I take a battle, I won't win the battle, so I prepare everything well, and I have the numbers, I have the skill pilots, because the other big issue is I really don't know why. I have a lot of fighter pilots in training, but they train totally wrong. They are not ready for any combat air missions. They are ready for ground attack support missions, like a fighter bomber, but not for escort fighter, sweep fighter, really like a ground attack fighter. Why I want this? I don't have even this kind of airplanes with the Japanese. The Americans, they have I think ground attack fighters, but with the Japanese, I don't know. Anyway, this is not a, I mean, I don't want to sound like I won't find here any excuse. It is a challenge, and I will try my best to challenge THG, and maybe it is possible to turn at least at some locations temporary something in the favor of Japan again. We will see. The third big issue I found out is normally the carrier fleet. For some reason, the whole carrier fleet and air wings are messed up. I don't know how I can describe this, but they are messy. And this also needs days to reorganize the whole carrier fleet operation stuff. But I mean, at least I need 1 week to organize, so at the same time I can do many things. I don't must do one by one. So normally I say in 7 days I think I have 80% ready to go out again. and in 10 days maybe I'm really at the level I normally organize my stuff. But latest I would say at the end of the month. So, and because I have to manage here a lot of stuff, I call back all my Air Force more or less, most of my Navy, I bring them back, I shift them around, so that is why normally I don't have much activity in these days. So maybe mostly of the activity is now from THG, but I ask him if we can also step back a little. So we have here only some cleanup operations. I mean, I don't say that we have no war at all. He bombard me here, I use my submarines, he uses submarines, and if I can finish some Chinese small units, then of course I will do this. We are still at war. So we can see that most are destroyed, and this unit will be mostly broken already. And here in Borneo we have still some Dutch forces. We try to get rid of it, and the base force already give up, so that there's only some platoon left. So maybe next turn we can also get rid of this last Dutch forces here. Okay. So not crazy much happened. Yeah. So we know, I think last time I saw here, I think there are 2, 3, 4 submarines around Japan. But I still move here a lot of stuff. You can see how much activity is here, simply because I organize the stuff. And I first organize the stuff and then I try to hunt the submarines. I don't try both at the same time. This will mess up only, and then I will make mistakes. And this is also a 1-day turn setup. So if you make something wrong, it's normally more easy to readjust. So with Dojo I must be a little more careful. Yeah, and this is really only let's say the second day I am in command, so not really much happened. You can still see, we can check this. The air war was very inactive, so THG lost 1 airplane by air-to-air battle, and we lost 3 operational airplanes. So we can see this here. So this is simply some training accidents or something like this, and 1 Chinese bomber gets killed air-to-air. Wherever, I don't know, I cannot really remember, but the most important I think is that we lost only 1 pilot. That's okay. And ship sunk this last turn now with 28 British tanker. So with 12,500 ton capacity, this is a big tanker. You can call it a first class tanker, so that is nice. But we must sink many of them to really cripple the supply chain of the allies. So not really much air activity. We saw here some bombardment here. So I call this whole army forces back normally because this will not work. I don't want to even try this because we know that here is a 250,000 Chinese, and so if I won't come here again, I need a similar power, and this I have to organize. So we go here all back to the main base. We go here back. I will try to create here in Nanyang now an air base, but I need first supplies, and I need engineers, and I need a lot of stuff I must bring here. But I need an air base that I can make a short range attack. Normally, before I take a Kaifeng, this is the typical air base, because you have here already 3 to 7 air base. But if I have now here, it's a little at the edge of the range for the fighters, and then I think I can better operate from Nanyang. This is good in range. It's only a 4. Also, Tojo fighters can operate here without the drop tanks. Because I don't think that this is so easy to take now. I have at least 1 month, maybe 2 months. I can organize here for something that I can maybe break this fortress of Xi'an. But there is also no other way. I normally have to take it. I have to take Xi'an directly, or I have to take the long way around. That is nearly impossible to supply anything too big to go this long road, and it's too easy for THG to move simply the armies around. And but this is the northern operation. The central operation, I also call everything back, because I don't see here also 160 and more thousand people, and it's all heavy terrain and maybe strong fort positions, and this base alone will also not help me anything. So I think I call them all back, and I organize here also. Also here in Quilling, I will call my units back. I was thinking last turn if I maybe stay here and I bring the forces all here down. But I know here is also now too much, too organized. I think that I better call all back, because some of the forces are also damaged, and you can see that they are not the right order. You can have here's the 1st Army and the 23rd Army, but the units are from 11th Army, 13th Army, North China Area Army. So it's a totally mix of units, and no HQ chain bonus will work here. So I make a hard cut and say, okay, I call it back. I need 1 week to organize this. I need 1 week to walk back, and maybe I need a 2nd week to bring it in position, and then I can go back. So in worst case, I need 1 month to be back here in China for any for any real strike. I can try to keep maybe THG a little busy, but for greater operations, that will need time. The most important is Air Force. Before I really operate any forces, I must control the air. It cannot be that the Allies control in 42 already the air of China. Totally something is wrong here. But you can see there's nothing. These are training pilots. This is the Oscar 1A. You cannot use this for fight. This is really only a training airplane. I will call this back to Shanghai, and then I train pilots here. And this is and nothing else I have here. Here are 2 zeros, but they are not. They are part of another group. They are in Tokyo, so I must then bring them back to Tokyo, or maybe I bring the Tokyo fighters here to China, maybe. But this is not enough. And here are 12 again. This is far too little. You need 100, 200 airplanes here. That 1/3 is resting, 1/3 is training, and 1/3 is maybe fighting like this. I have normally a lot of fighters. This is a fighter base in Harbin, but I said you can see this is an air battle. This is the most important. This must be normally at least a 60. No, you make strafing. The next group, strafing. This is all ground attack. Why I want this? For what? If you need normally an airplane with armor and with something like a lot of 20mm or 37, 40mm guns that you can like a tank buster, then you can maybe attack some forces, but not like this, not like this. So this is I don't know, you can call it pity or you can call it strange, but all these pilots are useless for me. Most of them are useless. So I have and also most of them, their key 27, they are also not useful. So I must first change the airplane type. I must give them the Oscar pilot like this, upgrade, yes. And then they need also 2 days maybe to fix the airplanes, like this. So this needs time. So China. In Rangoon, I also choose only to normally call my forces back, mostly. Bring them back to Bangkok and refit them and reorganize them. Because these are Thai forces, they are not for fighting, they are police force. So I will normally bring them to China to maintenance the order, but not to fight anything. I already see and I can see that I have here already very big issues with supplies. Like Saigon, 9,000. Bangkok, 12,000. Here's a big airbase, less than 10,000. And Singapore, 5,500. No, normally each of these bases needs 20, 30, 40, 50,000 supplies to work proper. Nothing here, nothing. Palm Bay also 13,000, nothing. And in Java is a totally shitty situation now because Surabaya have also only 5,500 and no fuel at all. So the industry is already in shutdown mode. The industry will not produce any supplies because I don't have fuel. So I already organized some emergency tanker. I changed this location. First I want to bring it to this base because this is also a base without fuel. And this goes on and go on and go on. Took with 6,000 fuel. When I already pumped all the, I took all the oil from Truk because Rabaul is empty. And you can say Tulagi is empty. And so on and so on and so on. This is Luganville, also empty. So all these bases are more or less dead. You cannot operate any navy forces if you don't have fuel. So if you play this game, you really must care logistic issues equally to military issues. It will not work that you only try to have a battle and the next battle and only want to have battle. If you only want to have battle, don't play this kind of game. This is a simulation of warfare, and if you check the historical records and the history books, most generals, successful generals, they always say logistic is what wins the victory. And if you don't order your units, if you don't order your supply chains in time, you will lose the war. You can maybe win the battle, but you will lose the war. Anyway, this is a really big issue, and it needs time to fix. You cannot fix this overnight. I also try to organize here in South Philippines units that I get most of the units as fast as possible to Java. I also take everything from Singapore and Palembang what have attack value to Java, simply because I must take Batavia now. I must get rid of this 50,000 units in Batavia, but I don't must attack this with something like 20,000. So I need here at least 30,000 attack forces, maybe more, because I don't know how strong is forces here in Batavia. So get rid of Batavia, and after this get rid of the Philippines, like I said last time, and also get rid of all this small jungle fighter forces. And if I don't get rid of this, I don't must think about anything else. And I must organize also this oil. The oil supply is very critical. The supply chain is broken. And yeah. Also the Air Force is a mess. The Air Force is a totally mess. Okay, but I think I really don't have so much to say. Only I want to again say, if you want to play the big campaign, you need understand supply. If you don't want care the supply so much, you can maybe better play the scenario, the smaller battles. There I think it's not so important and not so complicated. What else I can say? I think not much. We will see how this unfold now in the next days. It's not from my side now that I can push something. I only will try to organize some battle formation and to get the battle latest in end of April on the map, to challenge THG, simply to say I am not defeated now. At least I can try this, because I must try it now in April, May and June. If I normally each month I must take or I must try to get a big battle, and if I can win every battle, more or less win, or at least force THG to give up first, then I maybe can bring back the Japanese army to conquer something. Normally it's also a must have before June to take Rangoon, but because Rangoon have also a lot of oil, and it is an important port for normally to challenge the British around Ceylon and India. If you don't challenge this fast enough, the British can maybe bring here so many units to Rangoon, and then they start maybe the operation already early on and attack Thailand. And it will be a nightmare if you lose the Bangkok. I don't know how you want maintenance and this all here. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is all, I think. Give me 2-3 days more and I hope I can have better news. So far I say take care, see you again, and I hope you all stay safe and have a good day. Take care, bye bye.